Okay, so today we're going to read Curious George and the Birthday Surprise, since I know May 22nd is a special birthday. It's by Margaret and H.A. Rays. This is George. He was a good little monkey and always very curious. Today is a special day, the man with the yellow hat had told George at breakfast. I have a surprise planned and lots to do to get ready. You can help me by staying out of trouble. George was happy to help. What do you think? Is he going to stay out of trouble? Later, while George was looking out the window and being very good, he heard some tinkly music. It was coming from an ice cream truck, and George watched as a whole line of children and their dogs enjoyed some ice cream treats. It looked like fun. But when the ice cream truck moved on, George forgot all about staying out of trouble and went to find some fun of his own. What's he gonna do? In the living room, George found noisemakers and hats and games. Could this be part of his friend's surprise? Before George could find out, he spotted some streamers, balloons, colored tissue. He just couldn't resist. Decorating was easy for a little monkey. Still, George was curious about the surprise and what was that good smell coming from the kitchen. George followed his nose. What do you think he's going to find in the kitchen? Let's see. It was cake and it looked good as it smelled. All it needed was frosting. George had seen his friend make frosting at home, but today his friend was busy. Maybe George could help. He could frost the cake himself. First, he put a little bit of this in the mixing bowl, then a little bit of that. Then he turned on the mixer, and the frosting whirled and whirled. It was whirling too fast, but when George tried to stop the mixer, it only went faster and faster and faster. Think he pressed the button the wrong way? George lifted the beaters out of the bowl. Frosting flew everywhere. Poor George. He didn't mean to make such a mess. He had only wanted to help, and now he had to clean up the sticky kitchen. Oh no, what a mess. Just then, George heard the tinkly music again. The ice cream truck was coming back up the street, and George had an idea. Quickly, he opened the door. What do you think his idea was? He invited all the dogs in for a treat. Oh boy, Louie would love that. In no time, the kitchen was clean as a whistle. That's pretty smart thinking, don't you think? When the dogs finished their snack, George took them outside. The ice cream truck was still there, and so was his friend. George, said the man with the yellow hat, I've been looking for you. It's time for the surprise. George had found hats, games, decorations, and a cake. He was curious. Was the surprise a party? Yes, it was a party. George was happy to see all of his friends. They were happy to see George, too. What great decorations, Bill said. What a lot of presents, said Betsy. Why don't you play some games with the guests, George? The man with the yellow hat suggested. I have one more thing to do. When George's friend came back, he was carrying a cake and candles. That wasn't just any party, it was a birthday party, but George was still curious. Whose birthday was it? He watched to see who would blow out the candles. The man with the yellow hat put the cake right down in front of George. That was the surprise. It was George's birthday. The birthday party was for him, and everyone sang happy birthday. And George made a wish. But I think it should be happy birthday, Edward and Stella. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Edward and Stella. Happy birthday to you. May 22nd. Happy birthday.